Paul Hollywood's marriage broke down as his wife of 20 years struggled to get over his infidelity. The great British Bake Off judge and Alexandra, his wife of 20 years, confirmed the breakup in a joint statement. Paul Hollywood and his wife Alexandra have announced the separation. Sources close to the couple say the marriage has struggled to cope with Paul's wandering eye after his fame skyrocketed, including an affair while working in the US. And pals say the marriage has been secretly finished for some time. An insider said, "The truth is they've worked really hard to salvage their relationship but just couldn't recover from the damage that had been done. The more famous Paul has become, the more attention he has been getting, and that has put huge strain on the marriage. Here's every Great British Bake Off winner and what they're up to now." The TV star's wife Alexandra reportedly struggled to cope with his infidelity with US Bake Off co-host Marcela. Pictured, he's so recognizable that it's now got to the stage where he simply can't go anywhere without fans, often attractive, younger women, racing to get close to him. Paul plays up to it and enjoys the attention, which he thinks is harmless, but obviously Alex doesn't see it that way, especially after his affair. Sadly, this has been on the cards for some time. Now they've made it official. In the statement yesterday, the couple vowed to focus on the well-being of their teenage son Josh, 14, but did not say whether any third parties had been a factor in the marriage breakdown. Paul Hollywood was reportedly ready to leave his wife of 20 years for Marcela. The announcement read, "It is with sadness that we have decided to separate. Our focus continues to be the happiness of our son, and we would ask the press and public to allow us privacy as a family during this very difficult time." But when the TV star called time on their affair, Paul begged forgiveness from wife Alexandra. Pictured Paul, 51, and Alex, also a chef, married in 1998, but previously separated in 2013 when the TV chef admitted to having an affair with his Y co-star on the US version of Bake Off, Marcela Valladolid, then 35. They reconciled a few months later, and he described the incident as the biggest mistake of my life in an interview at the time. But industry insiders revealed he had intended to start a new life with Marcela, until she pulled the plug on the fling. Paul previously branded the affair with the US Bake Off judge the biggest mistake of his life. A source added Paul was totally into Marcela and threw himself in with both feet. When it all fell apart, he went back to Alex with his tail between his legs, but in reality, if Marcela had wanted to keep it going, he was all for it. He really believed he was going to start a new life with her, but in the end she walked away and he was left with nothing. He went back home and begged for forgiveness, but things were never the same. GBBO winner Candice was pictured yesterday training for dancing on ice. Paul last month attended a televised charity event with former Bake Off winner Candice Brown. Paul laughed off what appeared to be a kiss with Candice at the Pride of Britain Awards after party, but he was last pictured at a televised charity event without his wife by his side, instead joined by former Bake Off winner Candice Brown. The 51-year-old baker will return as a judge for the second series of Channel 4's The Great British Bake Off next year. Last December, him and Alex spent £1.4 million, a five-bedroom Grade I-listed mansion in Kent, located just a few miles from his previous home in Kent. Just last year, Paul and Alexandra splashed out on a £1.4 million mansion in Kent. The sprawling home is set in over 10 acres of land, perfect for growing his own produce. It also features a swimming pool and paddock, as well as a summer house, detached house and log barn. But by July this year, Paul began taking greater control of the companies he and Alex are directors of. He became the majority shareholder of both PJH Media and Paul Hollywood Limited, which have more than £1.1 million in assets between them. Paul is now listed as the sole person with significant control in official paperwork, meaning he owns 75% of the company's shares and has the right to remove other members. He is the sole director of his big money-making other firm HJP Media LLP, which he uses to channel his solo projects. The most recent accounts show he holds assets worth as much as £8.7 million. Paul Hollywood speaks about the moment he visited a German nudist camp on This Morning. Paul Hollywood believes Channel 4's Bake Off final would have got more viewers if fellow judge Prue Leith had not tweeted the winner ahead of the show's broadcast. Asked whether he thinks last month's final would have had higher ratings without the gaffe, the judge said, "I think we could have had much more." Prue, 77, revealed Sophie Faldo, 33, won the show hours ahead of the final while holidaying in Bhutan. Paul, 51, also expressed his frustration at viewers who had not come over to the new show from BBC One. He added, "There are people who can't get past Channel 1, the older generation, who don't understand how that works. They only flick a couple of buttons and it takes 3 clicks to Channel 4. Channel 4's Bake Off final had peak audiences over 8.3 million.